Hi, I'm Cyprinu. If you don't already know me, I also go by Jeru, and I just started my first year of university. This is my first time living alone, and it's the formula for most people to move away from home for university or college. I think my situation is no different from many, but it was still definitely a struggle. There are obvious things that change when you move away from home for the first time. Things like money, food, and company. Things that change overnight that you don't really notice until you move away for the first time. I had the hardest time with food after my first night living alone. I forgot to eat, and really, it's a very simple issue, except I didn't realize how early the cafeterias closed that day. And no one expects you to have figured out living alone from the first day. You have to give yourself some leniency for not knowing. The second thing that changes with university and moving is the company. For many, moving to university means saying goodbye to a lot of your high school friends. There was never a time in my life where I wasn't completely sure that I was an introvert. My second grade teacher must have thought me to be mute for how little I spoke in the first several weeks. But here's the thing. I have been in one school for most of my academic career. Many of the people I graduated with, I grew up with. And that meant that in a community I called my second home, I saw a mold that I had to fill, one of a quiet and reserved person. I never stepped out of what I saw to be my comfort zone because I didn't think it fit what people saw of me, and it felt weird to do something that wasn't expected of me, and maybe it felt like it was going to be a waste of time to do so. I never mentioned this in my last entry, but I'm a major in sociology. The fascination of the social of everything. Allow me to express what I've read so far. In Peter Berger's Invitation to Sociology, it says, "Now one identifies one's being as a matter of course with the way one is pinpointed on a social map. Such location tells an individual just what he may do and what he can expect of life." I think there was also a sense that I never bothered looking past what I thought was expected of me. I never tried anything new in high school because I felt that I might be embarrassed by upheaving people's perception and expectation of me. It's not that deep, I'll be honest. But university, as I've said, is a fresh start. No one here knows who you are. University is too big for everyone to know you. And there's a bit of beauty in that, knowing that there's no one here with a perception of you, and you can be whatever you want. For me, I found freedom in being able to try new things, because there was no one here that knew me to be a shy, quiet girl, and it would only be so if I let them think that. This is how I found the courage to talk to so many people in the first week of university. And maybe I got lucky that the people I found around me were just as fun and outgoing as I hope to be one day. But even now, just a week into university, I find that a fresh start did me well. And I'm not the quiet person I used to be just a few months ago. There should be no fear in meeting new people in a new place, whether you're moving for university, to a new country, for a job, or into another culture. Who you are will always be beyond people's perception of you, whether you realize it or not. If you're nervous for university especially, something that helped me a lot was to remember that most people, if not everyone, is in the same boat as you. Starting anew. And with that understanding, I find it easier to talk to people with the mind that they are just as nervous as me. Starting takes courage, but the drive onwards requires trust in those around you and in yourself. So on the topic of starting anew, let me tell you all about what I got up to. It's not a lot, it's the first week after all. Moving in was much to be anticipated. I was really excited to live alone for the first time. I opted to have no roommates. I think even though I'm not as shy and quiet anymore, I still need time to myself to recharge. Time for myself at the cost of air conditioning. But it's okay, I've lived without one my whole life. This is my first time living somewhere with an elevator. Sometimes it isn't worth it to wait, but I do live on the top floor and stairs suck. It was a lot to take in, living alone. On top of that, it was my first week of university, in a culture I never really grew up in. It was daunting to say the very least. but nothing is insurmountable when there are the little joys in everything. Something I really don't regret bringing is my digital camera. I bought this a few weeks before the end of summer, and it's so fun to go on walks with it and explore the campus. I had a little bit of a hard time choosing the clothes that I would bring. As I said before, my stay here isn't all that permanent. I'm lucky enough to go home on the weekends, so I have to have something to wear when I go back. It's so fun to decorate a new space. Even with what little decor I actually brought, it started to feel a little more like home. My first week of university definitely had its ups and its downs, but I'm grateful to be here. And I want to thank you for being here as the viewer on this little journey with me. I'd like to thank all of you for the love on the first video, and I hope to see you soon with more to come.